The kids say that. It's the shizzle. Oh, hey, we are live. Welcome back to Fave Five From Fans, the podcast where favorites take center stage. I'm Jamie Ray, your host and certified enthusiast. And for the 17th time, Jay Hall is once again joining me. Hey, Jay, how's it going?
Listen, I am really excited, Jamie. You have twice now said my actual name as opposed to whatever nonsense you usually call me.
Well,
So this is like a big thing for number 17.
so the thing is, I feel like you're getting older, and if I keep
Oh,
calling you those other names, you're gonna be like, "Ooh, was that my name?"
afraid I forget what. No, listen, that's completely possible, actually. That's a fair thing to be concerned about.
I'm here for you.
I mean, you're a man of the people.
I am a man of the person, I guess you could say.
Nah, fair
I
enough.
don't know. We could see. We could see. But so today we are doing the bookend,
Yeah,
the bookend
yeah.
to our favorite doctors episodes. We did favorite doctors in movies, and
Yep.
today what are we doing, Jay?
We're going to do favorite TV doctors.
God, that's gonna be so cool. This is such a fun list.
Yeah.
I only went to the you know what? Instead of telling you, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. What do you say?
I'm in. Let's
All
go.
right. Well, like we always do, I offer my guests to take 2 honorable mentions. Now, let's find out if Jay is going to have 17 to celebrate the anniversary.
I should have, if I'd known in advance, I would have done that. But I only have 2. I am going to cheat later on just to keep the tradition alive.
You always
Hope,
do. You
hope
always
you enjoyed that one time that I didn't. But it's not a huge cheat. But I've got 2 great honorable mentions. And before we get into the more serious doctors, I wanted to give you 2 ridiculous ones as
Oh,
my honorable mentions. All right. So my first honorable mention is Dr. Adam Bricker.
Bricker.
Do you know who Adam Bricker is?
I hardly knew her.
Settle down. Dr. Adam Bricker is portrayed by Bernie Koppel. Does that help you?
Bernie Koppel. No, man, just give it to me.
He is the doctor on The Love Boat. Oh yeah, Doc on The Love Boat.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was
No, that's Isaac with
Isaac. Yeah.
the finger guns. Yeah. Listen, I watched a lot of Love Boat back in the day. It was my grandmother's one of her favorite shows.
Yeah.
And so I have all these memories of being at their house and for whatever reason, not watching whatever my grandfather was watching, maybe because I couldn't, maybe because it was a sport thing I didn't care about at the time. And going back in in the good old days, right. Going back in their room at 8:00, I think, or 7:00 on Friday night and watching The Love Boat with my grandmother. So Adam Bricker is the ship's doctor who very rarely does anything actually medical.
Exactly.
He mostly just hangs out with Isaac at the bar and drinks quite a bit. And he's also the ladies' man of The Love Boat.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
he's always kind of trying to find the latest connection, love connection, as it will. He's been divorced a time or 2, but that doesn't matter because once you're on the boat, then, they're only there for a week and then they're gone.
That's right.
He's rarely like the central figure in a storyline. He kind of just comes along every now and then offering some advice and then
Right.
going
Not
back
necessarily good advice.
no, never good advice. Then going back to the bar to drink, which is why his advice isn't great. And why I would also be very concerned if I were sick on the Love Boat and had seen Dr. Bricker at the bar the entire time I was there.
Yeah.
That would not be terribly comforting.
Yeah.
Again, not a great doctor, but this is a nostalgia pick for me.
Yeah. That's funny. All the memories I have are watching Lawrence Welk with my grandmother.
Oh, we did some of that too.
Oh, man. Oh,
A one and a
and
2.
2 and 1. Yeah.
The lovely Janet. Yes, thanks very much.
Lovely Janet. SNL does a great parody.
Oh yeah.
The woman with the little hands. Yeah. All right. Well, that's a great one. Yep. You have another one.
I do. So my second one is even more ridiculous than
Okay.
Adam Bricker. My second one is Dr. Leo Spaceman.
Is that the one from The Simpsons?
No, this is Chris Parnell on 30 Rock.
Oh, okay.
Dr.
Okay.
Spaceman.
Yeah. Never seen that
Oh,
episode. I've seen
dude.
30 Rock. I'm not a huge Alec Baldwin fan.
So he shows up a ton. Anytime anybody needs anything medical taken care of, Dr. Spaceman shows up. He is the worst doctor in the history of medicine. He has a degree from the Ho Chi Minh City Medical something or other.
Wow.
Um, and he is willing to do anything from prescribing medications you don't need to fertility to kidney transplants to you name it, weight loss, diabetes. He's in the middle of all of it, which is part of the ongoing joke that he knows nothing about any of this stuff, but is your guy every single time.
Yeah, I get that.
Um, so he's that kind of deal. He makes great statements like science is whatever we want it to be. So when people ask him if this is safe, he's like, who knows? Because science is whatever we want it to be.
The problem is I think I've heard that in real life.
Well, again, maybe not from a doctor, but it certainly tracks along in different ways. Um, he gets grossed out by giving people shots. He mentions one of the characters is trying to lose weight, and he asks if she's considered crystal meth, and then gets into how significant is tooth retention to you. But so it's utterly ridiculous. But what I love so much, Chris Parnell absolutely sells this guy because he plays him as straight as he possibly can.
Oh,
So
okay.
he says the most ludicrous things in just this brilliant way. And I love 30 Rock. I watched the show. I don't know how many times I've rewatched it. Every time he comes on the screen, I start laughing before he says anything because I know what's coming. Or even if I don't remember what's coming, I just know how nuts it's going to be. So
Right.
anyway, Dr. Spaceman, or as Tracy calls him, Dr. Spaceman, one
Love
of
it.
my favorite docs.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I have two of my
Let's
own.
go. Let's hear him.
My first one is a doctor, but in fact, he's a coroner, and that
Okay.
is Woody, the coroner from Psych.
Nice.
Okay, Kurt Fuller, he's just again wonderfully deadpan about it. He's one of the most delightfully quirky recurring characters in Psych, and there's a lot of them. Okay, the guy treats them more like his private living room, chatting up corpses, getting unsolicited life advice, and occasionally getting a little too comfortable with his work. He got a social awareness of a man who spent just enough time with the dead to forget how the living operate.
That's a great line. Well done, you.
Oh, thank you. But that's what makes him endearing. One of my favorite episodes of Psych is when they all go out and wake up the next morning and nobody remembers what they did, and so it's like they have to backtrack from video and stuff and Woody is just like, I mean, he's the only one that's not freaked out. You kind of get the feeling that he does this every day. It's not good. And I'll say he's not just comic relief. He's Morg's version of a golden retriever. If that golden retriever had a medical degree and zero filter. Woody the coroner from Psych.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I love that guy. So, all right, now the second one is a completely just diametrically opposed, and this is Dr. Robert Rocket Romano
Oh, yeah.
from ER. Yeah,
Yeah.
played to the T by Paul McCrane.
Yeah.
And if you're a RoboCop fan, you know the face. He's the sardonic chief of surgery, and he loves being nasty.
He's a jerk. Yeah.
He is such a jerk, and he's always putting people down, and he's always, just making everything around him. But the best thing about him is his, I guess, bad luck streak with helicopters. Okay, and this is not I'm going to spoil it because if you haven't seen it, but
Well, yeah. I mean, it's 20 years
so
ago now.
awesome. Okay, so in one episode where the chopper is up on top of the helicopter and they go up there and the guys are telling him, don't get close, don't get close. It's pretty much like, what? And he cuts his arm off. Okay. I mean, just like, and blew me away because we used to watch it when it would come on.
Do you remember? I mean, like watching that the first,
Yes.
like they really did that.
They really did that. And like,
Yep.
it made that noise, And so you're thinking, well, God, thank God he's gone. But then he comes back later and okay, well, he had a near death experience. He must be a different person. No.
Nope.
No. And so what does the guy do? He never goes up on the roof again. He is staying away from it. And he has this climactic end when a helicopter crashes and falls down on top of him, killing him. So
Incredible.
it was such again,
Incredible.
watch that live. And Tina and I were like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, did you see that?" Because it's like boom, and it's over. I was like, wow.
Yeah, because it's another one of those, surely they're not going to, because I was watching some ER clips for this very reason, and you see the thing start going over the edge, and you're like, no, surely
No,
not. And then done.
that's it. Done. Done. So
Incredible.
gotta love him, Rocket Romano.
Rocket
And what
Romano, that's
name
a
is
good
it?
one.
You know? I can't remember it. I think he gave himself the name, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember, but that does seem on brand.
Yeah, that exactly. All right. Well, those are our honorable mentions.
Solid.
If you're ready, why don't you give me your number 5?
So we're going to go back for a little more nostalgia.
Okay.
And my number 5 is Quincy M.E.
That's a great pick.
Jack Klugman.
Mm.
So Dr. Quincy is a medical examiner for LA County. So he's one of the ones, speaking of coroners, he's checking out the bodies after the cops bring them in. And every time they bring in the body and there's something that doesn't quite jive with what the police think happened. So he is not only the medical examiner, but he becomes this kind of amateur detective and runs around and does all of the things trying to figure out what's going on,
Infuriating everyone.
making everybody crazy. And one of the things I love about this, because this is like 70s, early 80s. So this is when 60-minute dramas wrapped up in 60 minutes or 47 minutes, right? With commercials. So you didn't have long running plot lines. You didn't have extended stories. It was like, this body shows up. Quincy does this thing. Here's the thing that happens. Done.
Right.
We laugh after the commercial break and then we move on to the next deal.
Mhm.
So yeah, he's always in conflict with the LAPD. He
his
always,
boss.
but then he needs them to bail him out because he'll discover the murderer and go try to find him on his own. And now he's at gunpoint or being held over a pit or whatever, ends up kind of like the 66 Batman.
Yeah.
But one of the things about this show that really was groundbreaking for the time is all of the different kinds of issues that it would get into. So I mean, they talked about autism, they talked about gun control, they talked about
Horse, the drugs. I mean, like street
all
heroin
kinds
and
of and they just got into it, drug use, alcohol use. But do you remember the most iconic issue that they took on Quincy?
that would be really hard because I watched the one where it's a bunch of younger kids who are doing, and they keep calling it horse.
Right.
And that one was really kind of messed up. And I know
That
that
was pretty big.
there was another one, if I'm not mistaken, that had to do with SA.
They did do some of that.
But no, what do you think it was?
The most iconic, the most hard hitting was when he took on punk rock.
God.
The dangers of punk rock. They bring in a kid who's been killed at a concert, and he goes to this band and he's like, don't you know that your music is making people violent? They actually go on a talk show like an Oprah or probably more of a Jerry Springer kind of thing, where he and his buddy confront the band members and they're like, man, it's just about the music.
Yeah.
It's the goofiest thing ever.
Crazy. See, I
But
was
he
going
is
a completely different way.
right. Well,
Yeah.
you should know who you're talking to.
That's true. If I could re-pick my choice, it's going to be the one where the Native American spirits were coming up from when they found. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It didn't mind getting kind of goofy.
No.
But again, there were no consequences because whatever you did in that 47 minutes was done.
Yeah.
Like it was never, there were recurring characters, but like plot lines, storylines, things that happened. His arm could have been cut off by a helicopter. And then the next episode, he would have had it back because it was like no continuity. We're just running through.
Oh, never mind, Quince.
Yeah, don't I remember something about? I'm sure it's fine.
Let's go down to the bar and order Salisbury steaks or something.
Let's
like
knock
that.
some stuff back. And so anyway, and again, this is another nostalgia pick. This is one. I mean, late 70s, early 80s. I'm pretty young. We're watching whatever my parents are watching. Mom was into the medical shows, so we watched Quincy, and for whatever reason, it stuck.
Yeah, that's a great one though. Sam Robert Ito. He went on to to star in a bunch of different. He was in Green Berets
Yeah.
with John Wayne.
Yeah.
So no, that's a great pick. I like that.
Solid.
Solid number 5.
What about you, Jamie? What do you got?
Well, my number 5 is also going to be one of those nostalgia picks.
Okay.
And this one was actually pretty tough because I knew I had to pick one. And so I'm talking about MASH on the 4077.
Right.
And all of them had different reasons why I liked them.
Yeah.
But when it really came down to it, and I literally did a list and said, okay, I like I ended up going with Captain BJ Honeycutt.
Okay.
The reason why Mike Farrell played him,
Yeah.
just like literally like the everyman, and he's some pretty big boots to fill. I mean, because
Yeah.
Trapper John was gone.
Yep.
And so I think season 4 is when he came in. But he somehow made the whole camp feel like they already knew him, you know?
Yeah.
Devoted father, devoted husband from Mill Valley, California. He wore his love for Peg and Aaron like a shield against the absurdity of the war. Okay.
Yeah.
Yet he could go prank for prank with Hawkeye when it came down to it.
Yeah.
And it was just he kind of felt with all of the stuff going around, it kind of felt like he was like, I mean, of course you had Father McCahey, but he was kind of the moral compass of the surgeons. When Charles Emerson Winchester III came in, it was a really, really good feel because it felt like, Frank was gone, Trapper was gone, and it didn't feel like it was shoehorned or, I
Yeah.
mean, it was like putting on a comfortable jacket again. And so whether he was crying into a still glass of gin, delivering a baby under fire, or pulling off an elaborate con to get a wounded soldier sent home, he was one of the most historic doctors and one of my favorites for number 5.
No, I had a conversation about MASH, and the MASH doctors did not actually make my list. They got edged out barely. But I did the same thing. Like, is it Trap? Is it BJ? Is it Hawkeye, which is the obvious pick? Mine was going to be Sherman Potter.
Oh yeah, he was great.
Colonel Potter on there. But you're talking about BJ. He's the one that never really cracks.
Yeah.
I mean, so the finale of MASH, when things kind of start to come apart and Hawkeye has all of his challenges, but you just don't see that as much. I mean, BJ would lose it over not being with his wife.
Right.
And his daughter.
Yeah.
But beyond that, the war didn't get to him in the same way. I think partly because he had Peg and Aaron waiting for him back home. And so he didn't, the war wasn't all there was.
Yeah. For a lot of them, it was.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, they didn't have anything else they missed what they weren't having at home, but that was kind of their world as it was at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, good. I'm glad you like that pick.
Solid pick.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, so what is your QID pick? That means 4 times a day.
Oh my gosh. What are we doing?
What's your number 4?
So I am going to piggyback on one of yours from our movie doctor episode and go with Dr. Leonard Bones McCoy from the original Star Trek.
Yes.
DeForest Kelley.
Not from the Next Generation episode.
No. I mean, we could throw that one in too if we need to. But predominantly from the 3 seasons and the cartoon, because he actually voiced himself on the cartoon as well. So, And this was the one, like, it was Bones, it was Sherman Potter, or it was Victor Ehrlich from St. Elsewhere, if you remember that show.
Yeah.
Ed Begley Jr. But at the end of the day, my love for Star Trek won out. I had to talk about Bones a little bit, even though we talked about him on the earlier show. He's, the old country doctor. He's the chief medical officer. Now, how they're still old country doctors in the 23rd, 24th century, I don't fully understand. But I think what's great about him is the counterpoint that he serves to Spock, right? And they kind of are just going to each other all the time, although we see in the movies they have this affinity for each other as well. But that, Spock is all logic, and Bones is emotional, it's moral, it's ethical. So it's not just the thing that makes the most sense, but it's the thing that will take care of the people, which is the role of a doctor. You would hope
Right.
is the role of a physician in that.
And you're
And
saying people, but he took care of a horda before.
people being very,
Yeah.
people being a very broad
Mhm.
term
Damn
for
it, Jim, I'm
anything
a
that is
doctor, not a bricklayer.
okay. So I've got some stats for you.
Okay.
I looked these up. How many times do you think over the span of the 3 years he said he's dead or he's dead, Jim?
Okay. So I would think that he said he's dead a lot more than he said he's dead, Jim.
That is true,
Okay.
but these are
Uh,
lumped together. So the total
so the total
death
60
pronouncements,
something episodes, 10,
20.
20.
20
Oh,
times he says he's dead or he's dead, Jim.
right.
But okay, so then the one you brought up, I'm a doctor, not a
Yeah.
insert thing here. How many times did he say that?
Oh, probably less.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
definitely
I'm
less.
gonna go with 12.
Okay, so you're right there. It's 11.
Ah,
So 11 times I'm a doctor, not a mechanic, or I'm a doctor, not a bricklayer. At one point he says, which is one that seems kind of odd, but I'm sure if I remembered the context of it, it would make perfect sense to me. It just doesn't.
Mm.
But I love the back and forth between he and Spock. I love the friendship and kind of the relationship that he has with Kirk, and is the one who can kind of get in his ear and say, okay, but what about
yeah.
when the things are going down, whatever's happening? It doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense that the doctor spends as much time on the bridge as Bones did,
Yeah.
but we're not inserting a ton of logic into this thing anyway, so
No.
we're just gonna go with it. They're buddies, and that's just what they do. But yeah, that's my number 4,
Solid.
Bones McCoy from Star Trek.
Solid. I dig it. Um, bonus question. How
Uh-oh.
many times does Kirk say "Beam me up, Scotty" in the 3 seasons?
Oh, man. I would guess that's a lot.
Mhm. How many would you guess?
Let's go 45.
Okay. So he says it 0 times.
Are you serious?
It's not until the movies that he says "Beam
Really?
me up, Scotty." He'll say, "Scott, Enterprise to beam up," or he'll say something like that a lot,
Really?
but he
But
never
doesn't
uses the term "Beam me up, Scotty" until I think it's 2 maybe.
well, then I might have to go back now and watch all of them just to make sure that's
Just to be
true.
sure, yeah.
Oh,
I could
no.
be lying to you. I do
Yeah,
that.
I would never know. You don't lie to me.
All right, well, I'm gonna counter that one with my own number 4,
Let's go.
and it's a I think it's a pretty solid one, and it's gonna be Dr. Dana Scully from The X-Files.
Nice.
Gillian Anderson, she played the ultimate icon of just cool-headed skepticism.
Yep.
She's a medical doctor and an FBI agent. She always maintains her scientific, well, almost always maintains her scientific uh, composure. Whether it be liver-eating mutants, whether it be Fox losing, her partner losing his mind, or Fluke Man, as it goes. But she was an unexpected feminist touchstone
Yeah.
for 90s TV. Even when the alien abduction was happening to her, all right? And one of the episodes that I really loved the most was, I think it's called Beyond the Sea, when her father had died
Mm.
and she keeps seeing him and she knows he's dead, but she also knows that it's him. I thought she really, really did a
Yeah.
great job in all the episodes, but specifically that one, And they also say, in fact, is sponsored by Red Dog Terrain, that the Scully effect, I got to read this, is even a real documented phenomenon, a measurable uptick in women pursuing careers
Mhm.
in science and medicine directly attributed to her. So Iconic doesn't even begin to cover
Right.
who Dr. Dan Scully was.
No, that's good stuff. And as great as that show is, the acting doesn't always get the
Mm.
credit that it deserves, and sometimes rightfully so. But I think she, like you said, was always consistent, was always solid, was always, even in the most unbelievable sets of circumstances, was believable in that she was in it, right? Because some of that could have very easily be done. We've seen shows where the actors are not exactly rolling their eyes, but all but
Right.
at some of the things they're having to deal with or interact with, and you never got that from them. And so, and I've heard the thing about the Scully effect in
Oh,
STEM
I never
and
heard that,
young women going
which
into
is
those
great.
fields. So
You know,
absolutely,
she's an amazing actress and an amazing character.
yeah,
I just one of the things I loved about her was that she was stoically scientific about it, that there has to be a logical explanation for
right.
it. And when she couldn't find one, she didn't just say, "Oh, well, it's something I don't know," or "I can't Sometimes she would just accept it as it being
Yeah.
an X file and that it did not have an
And you
explanation.
see more and more of that the deeper into the show when there's just a larger bank of, "Oh, wait a minute, these are just things there are things out there that don't make any sense, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we can accept them
Yeah.
differently."
All right. Well, that's a great
Nice
one.
one.
How about your number 3?
So my number 3 is Dr. Jack Shepherd,
Oh, from Lost.
Matthew Fox on Lost. Again, another doctor who doesn't do a whole heck of a lot of doctoring after the first couple of immediate episodes,
Yeah.
but a doctor nonetheless. He's a spinal surgeon. He was on Oceanic Flight 815. He is really the bookend of the show, speaking of, like, the
Yeah.
first thing you see is his eye opening,
And the last thing.
and except for the epilogue, the last thing you see is his eye closing.
Mhm.
So that's Jack.
Yeah.
He does some doctory things early in the show because there's people who have been injured in a plane crash, and
Right.
so it makes sense. Beyond that, that kind of just goes away. You don't really hear much about his doctoring stuff except in the stuff about his relationship with his dad,
Right.
where, he's
Plus when the others take him and make him perform surgery,
yeah, there's some of that. So
there's a little bit of that.
they use him when it's convenient to do so,
Right.
but, he becomes the kind of reluctant leader of this thing. They actually wanted to kill him off, I think, early in the show, he
Oh,
wasn't supposed
really?
to survive the pilot, but for whatever test audiences, I guess, really liked him, and so he becomes the leader of this thing.
He's a
He's the one that
puppy.
yeah, he's so cute. He's the one that does the live together, die alone.
Mhm.
So, all that and then the iconic kinda Jack Shepherd moment when, at the airport at the end of season 3 when he's talking to Kate and he says, "We have to go back."
Yeah.
And the whole kind of perspective of the show shifts and you realize that, wait a minute, it's not been going in the direction we thought it was. It's actually going in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Just so much about what he does. He's involved in all of it. And it just is, he's one of those faces that is associated with the show. You can't think about Lost without thinking about him
Right. And his
and
tattoos.
his tattoos, which by the way were real.
Yeah.
All the things I learned. And so they built this mythology around the tattoos because
Oh,
he already had them. They were gonna cover him up and they decided not to. And so
I
they
didn't know
went with that.
that.
So there's a whole podcast that, Lindelhoff and Hughes did while the show was running.
Yep.
They would come on the week after and kinda talk about all this kinda stuff.
Jeffrey Corbella was a huge fan of that was episode 200 of the show, was
Which
our
one?
Fave 5
Oh,
things
yes.
about Lost.
Yeah, yeah. And, so all of that just anyway, I'm a huge fan of Lost, perhaps not as large as, uh, Jeffrey, but
Yep.
still pretty big, and, just love the mythology. I'm one of those that will defend the final episode and the things we don't know because there's just so much about that was iconic for television,
Yeah.
and Jack Shepherd was right in the middle of it.
I Bravo, sir. I'm gonna back you. I think that was a great, great choice.
Sorry, I just realized I had a power strip that was not turned on and my computer was about to die, so we're
Oh,
back now.
okay.
It's
Okay.
all good.
It lives.
Trained professionals, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
What's your number 3, Jamie?
Well, my number 3 is also a number 3. Okay? So get this. $6 million man, Dr. Rudy Wells. Okay?
Outstanding.
But so I specifically have chosen Martin E. Brooks, the third actor that stepped in line with it,
Right?
just because I mean he was so awesome, and so not only did you get him as in the $6 million man, you also got him in The Bionic Woman,
Yep.
you know? But he was born, Martin Baum in the Bronx, and let's see, he served as a paratrooper in the U.S. Army and earned a Purple Heart before going on to a Tony-nominated Broadway career.
Wow.
He had all of those adventures before Steve Austin ever came along. But one of the reasons that I liked him is because I kind of felt like he was the closest to what a real doctor felt like.
I can get
Because,
that.
Alan Oppenheimer was number two. Um, he always kind of felt more like a scientist
Hmm.
than a doctor. And maybe it was because we got to see him with the other Jamie, um, and with Steve and with Max, and so many other times when he really did feel like a doctor. And it's just I really really liked it. He actually was also in all three of the Bionic Reunion movies.
Really?
The one that had even the one that had Sandra Bullock as the Bionic Girl
That's
in the
right.
last one.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
The
So, and
lore.
I've got those on DVD, by the way.
That is fantastic.
So, not too bad for the third Dr. Wells. Turns out that things really do come in three. So,
Apparently so. Dude, I love the $6 Million Man so much. I had the action figure. I had the book, The $6 Million Man and the Secret of Bigfoot Pass. It
uh-huh.
may still be sitting on my shelf.
Wow. I
Oh,
still have them too.
I was in.
Yeah, me too. Who at that age, who wasn't?
Right. Yeah.
You know? I mean, who was I've got this amazing picture of me and my brother at somebody's birthday party. He's like 2 years older than me, and he has this iconic $6 Million Man shirt on, where the
Sweet.
whole front of the shirt is just Steve's face and the eye, And it's like, "Oh my god, I would love to have that shirt again to put it on the wall." But I
That's
have all
incredible.
the stuff. I mean, well, not all of it, but most all of it. I even have the exploding briefcase,
Oh, yeah.
Oscar Goldman.
Oh, yeah.
Just great toys to play with. They were durable, you know,
Oh, yeah.
as long as you didn't, you know,
I mean, we found ways, but they
yeah,
were
yeah. But yeah,
but the
no,
telescoping eye that you could look through, and it was like a long distance. Oh,
hmm
man.
hmm
This has
yeah,
become a whole different show all of a sudden.
it can. All right, well, okay.
That is awesome.
So this is the part of the show where we do stop and take a break to talk
Yep.
about anything that's going on in your life. I don't know about how much you want to share about what's going on in your life this week. We can actually move on if you want. You tell me.
Well, I will not share a ton about what's going on in my life this
Okay.
week other than I'm already a grandfather,
hmm
and I will become another one very soon.
Very soon.
Maybe
I'm
this week,
so
maybe the next week.
can't
Soon.
wait for little Jamie to be born. It's
That's
going to be
not his name.
awesome.
That's not his name.
What?
No one
What?
is ever gonna call him that. That
No,
is
I think
not
they
his
will.
name.
I,
No, well,
I
you
think they
will.
will. You just wait.
That's why we're gonna keep him away from you so that these things don't happen. But I do, if I can for a second, plug something because it's something I really love, and I don't think we've talked about it yet.
Okay.
So my podcast, the Okiebook Cast, is dedicated to Oklahoma authors and really dedicated to those who are a little more off the radar. I mean, I love talking to the big names, the Daniel H. Wilsons and Rilla Askews and some of those folks. But
Or the
I
J
also,
Halls.
well, he's on all the time, and that guy, whatever. But I also love talking to these independent authors, these folks who are working with small presses or they're self-published, they're doing their own thing. And there's just not enough ways for them to get their message, their story, their books out into the world. And I'm telling you, some of the best stuff I've read in the last 3 or 4 years has been by these people that no one's ever heard of.
Right.
So I kind of just made it my mission to keep amplifying and talking about these folks. So to that end, in January this year, I started a new newsletter
Oh.
called Read Local, and it's LOKAL. Clever. See how that get it?
Okay.
Okay, yeah. But Read Local is every month. It comes out on the first Sunday of the month, and it just spotlights new releases from Oklahoma authors.
Okay.
And some of them are people that folks would have heard of, And most of the books that are on there are books that no one's ever heard of the author because they're small, they're local, they're self-published, they're small press, whatever. But every month you can get it and find out stuff that's going on, and it's got romance authors and science fiction authors and horror authors and fantasy and nonfiction and just this wide array. And we have every month between like 9 and 12 books that are represented. And it's just
Wow.
a fantastic way to find out about books that you would honestly never find out any other way. I
Yeah.
mean, unless you're following my show or following us on Instagram, you're just never going to find these books. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, if you're a reader and you're interested in kind of trying to find off the track books, readlocal.substack.com. You can subscribe. You can check out all the past issues. It's free, and go check out and find some fantastic books. And if you're listening to this and you happen to be an Oklahoma author and you don't know about it, you've got a book coming, hit me up, readlocal.substack.com, and add your stuff. So thank you for letting me plug a little bit, but I am so passionate about letting these people be heard
Uh-huh.
that I love every opportunity to just talk for a second about ways that people can meet fantastic authors.
Well, I'm glad well, I'm sure the Hungarians are very
Listen,
interested.
I'm ready for the traffic to go up in Hungary. That'll be good.
Oh, that's awesome. And do you have anything going on that you want to
Well,
talk
I mean, I have things that are
super
happened.
secret?
Well, they're not. I mean, I've written a book, and we've talked about this, I think, and because we talked about it in the last one because you got all fired up about things you think you know.
Yeah.
Um, but we are maybe months away from it coming out. If it happens to get picked up by an agent, then we're further out than that. But I don't know that I have the patience to wait that long. So maybe sometime in the next 2 or 3 months, there will be an actual novel as opposed to my other books that are not fiction
Yeah.
or nonfiction, as is actually the term that's used. But a fiction book will be coming out for me soon.
All about me. I
No, it's
love
not
it.
all
I'm
about
so
you.
excited.
I should never have told you.
You should never have told me. I am super excited, and
Me too.
as much as I want to read it, I wouldn't mind waiting for you to find a really good agent to really get
Mhm.
it out there
I
because
wouldn't even mind a bad agent to get it out there.
yeah, because it's I got a lot of faith in you, man. I think this is gonna be
Well,
amazing. You
that's
know?
too kind.
Eh,
I'm excited about it.
yeah.
This is something I've wanted to do for a long, long time, and
Yeah.
finally had a story worth telling, I guess.
And now you're going on to the second one.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
mean, that's the hope, right?
That's it. That's it. Wow,
Good
awesome.
stuff.
Well, cool. Okay, so nothing going on with me. Um,
Just sitting there in the basement.
sitting in the basement. You know, we don't have basements. Did you know
No, you
that?
wouldn't. Where you live, it would make no sense. You would be
No, we
underwater very quickly.
indoor swimming pools. So
Right.
it's one of the things I kind of envy about so many other places is the cool
Where
whole
I
basement.
live, we have to have basements. It's
Oh
a
yeah.
survival thing because of the
Right.
tornadoes.
Wow. Well, good. All right. Well, then, great. Let us
Did you just
switch
well
gears.
good tornadoes?
Huh?
So did you just well good tornadoes?
I did because I will good hurricane. Do y'all have a drink named after tornadoes like we have hurricanes?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
that
there's
they make
all
it all
versions
fine.
of twisters and all
Mhm.
kinds of things. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there was a Twisters in From Dusk Till Dawn. I just don't remember what it was called. Some bar, something Twister.
No, I'm not gonna be able to help you here.
Oh, that's true. You've never seen it? From Dusk Till Dawn?
I don't think so.
Oh, you just see that movie. Oh, it's so
I've not seen it to a point where I'd remember the name of the bar for
yeah,
sure.
you would if you'd seen it.
Oh well.
Okay, well, moving on. This is the part of the show where, okay, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
We're going to get to our penultimate choices.
I'm so excited.
We do. We say penultimate. So, Jay Hall, give me your number 2.
My number 2 is Dr. Gregory House. Hugh Laurie on the show House, head of diagnostic medicine at a large metropolitan hospital in New Jersey that doesn't actually exist.
Yeah.
I freaking love House
Yes.
for probably all the wrong but right reasons. Like
Really?
this House is House is not a happy guy, right? He's surly, he is cynical, he's angry most of the time, he's mean all the time,
all the time.
but he is absolutely brilliant, and he is a problem solver bar none.
Yeah.
And, his whole world is the weird things that come in and figuring out what's going on with the patients, with the family, with whatever, and, he's designed after Sherlock Holmes. He's supposed to be a medical Sherlock Holmes, even down to his eventual pill addiction, and he gets these mysteries, and part of the challenge is the way that he gets to his answers. So one of my favorite episodes is when the cop comes in that's got the shrapnel in his head,
Yeah.
and they're trying to figure out how to get the shrapnel out, and they want to do an MRI because it's making the cop laugh.
Yeah.
And so House goes in the morgue and shoots a cadaver in the head so that the bullet fragments are there, and he shows what's gonna happen, and but it's just that unorthodox, you know, angry, surly, whatever,
Yeah.
that is so off-putting. Like, in a real person, you would hate this guy,
Hate them.
and
There's
most
no
of the
way he
people
could still
around
work.
him.
There's no way he could still
Oh,
work.
no, no. But there's something about the way that he does it. It's not endearing.
No.
I don't even know what the right word is, but it's capturing, it's captivating, right? You wanna see what he's gonna do next. You wanna see what he's gonna figure out next. You wanna see how he's gonna figure things out while he's still navigating all these challenges in his personal life. And what's funny about it is if you ever see an interview with Hugh Laurie, you realize how completely opposite.
He's a huge comedian.
He's the nicest dude, he's funny. He's a jazz musician. His album's actually pretty good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's got a
I've
jazz
actually never
piano.
heard jazz and pretty good in the same sentence, but
Stop
no,
it,
it's good.
you cretin. But he just and I think that's part of it, when you see Hugh Laurie and see who he is and then see how he makes his character just so incredibly unlikable,
Yeah.
it just you recognize what an incredible actor Hugh Laurie is, but also it's one of those shows. My wife watched it for a little while and said, "I think you would love this guy,"
Yeah.
and she was absolutely right. He's just there's something about the way that he approaches the world that is completely other than I would ever be able to do it, but there's also just something really fun watching him.
Yeah. Yeah. And the way he treats all the interns and,
Oh, yeah.
oh man, it's just a constant stream of them. But you also know that he is a really good doctor. And even with all
Right.
false bravado and all of that grumpiness, he actually does care about the patients. And,
He cares about solving the problem for sure.
that's for sure. But I remember because, he had to go down and work in the clinic too. And I
Yeah.
remember, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but there was a father and a son, and something had happened to the father, like an accident, industrial accident or something,
Mhm.
and he couldn't talk anymore. And so it had been a couple of years. And do you remember
Yeah.
this one?
He
Yeah.
kept trying to scare him to get him to say something.
And nothing would work. Nothing would
Yeah.
work. And at the end of the episode, and he injected something into him, um, he's basically telling him, "Y you can talk now. What I just did is fixed all your problems. You can talk." And the guy's like and he says, "But, he said, "If you did talk, there's no way I would tell anybody and no way that your disability could be taken away."
Right.
And the guy was like, and it was just he didn't
Yeah.
have to do that.
Right.
So, yeah,
And I think that's part of it is those moments pop out where you see this character who is just, grumpy all the time, and then he will engage someone, and it's often someone unexpected in this very human, very personal, very, intentional kind of way where they're not just a problem to be solved or a mystery
right.
to be unraveled. They're actually every now and then he sees them as actual human beings,
Yeah. Very, very seldom, but still. Yeah. Yeah.
which is
No,
why you keep rooting for him.
that's a great choice. I
Love him.
dig it.
All right. What's your number 2?
My what?
Your penultimate choice.
I learned to do that. So mine is going to dip down into the Star Trek realm, and I am, of course, gonna have to pick Dr. Beverly Crusher from Star Trek:
Okay.
Next
Yeah.
Generation. I had such a crush on Crusher. I'm just You know,
The puns
there's
write themselves, ladies and gentlemen.
they do. They do. There are so many beautiful women on that show, on all of the shows.
Yeah.
But she was just something else. She was a powerhouse. She's the kind of chief medical officer who could diagnose a Klingon with, having a bedside manner, could debate Starfleet ethics over synthahol, and then still find time to choreograph a stellar dance routine to be performed. You know? And that's a lot to have to do with Gates McFadden.
Yeah.
She I don't know if you watched any of the UPN shows that came on.
No.
Yeah. So after Next Gen ended, they had the UPN network for a while, and there was a show on there called Marker, and she was on that show, and you get to see her play a whole different side.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. I think it was like set in Hawaii or something, and maybe Richard Grieco was in it too. I don't really remember, but I love the fact that she was a dancer first. Fun fact, sponsored by Red Dr. Rain. Did you know that she did choreography work on Labyrinth and The Muppets Take Manhattan?
I did not.
Yeah, she did. She did.
That is a fun
And,
fact.
just to go show you how much people loved her, she, at the end of season 2, no, season 1, she was pregnant in real life, and she left, and they brought in Dr. Pulaski. No, the fans were like, "No, we want Crush back. We want Crusher back."
Yeah.
And sure enough, season 3, she comes back, and she's one of the reasons that Jean-Luc gets saved from the Borg at the end of the season. One of the best season finales of all time.
Yeah, that was solid.
Oof, man. Yes, season finales, excuse me.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things I loved was the relationship that she had with Picard, in that they loved each other. And it was one of these unrequited loves because Picard had so much respect for Jack,
Right.
for Wesley's father, that they never really acted on it, except for what was it, the naked time, where they're both getting not like the little junk thing, and he's like,
You did that so well, and please never do it again.
But anyway, I just think whether she was in the sick bay, or she was in the captain's chair, or she was on the Enterprise by herself,
Yeah.
she was always CMO. So loved her. So
That's a solid one.
yeah. Thank you. I got to meet her too,
Oh,
and
nice.
she is just as, I'm going to just say it, she's just as gorgeous in person as she was on the screen. She has that, she's a real redhead, but she has this air about her that was really, really awesome. And so I was kind of fanboying a little bit. So,
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. All right. So this is the part of the show where everybody anxiously awaits,
Leans in.
for you to say yours so they can hear what my number 1 is. That never gets old.
So I promised you that I would cheat.
Yes, you will.
And here it is.
Here it is.
You knew it was coming. You may have forgotten it was coming, but you knew it was coming because it's me.
I know you.
My number 1 favorite television doctor is Noah Wyle.
Really? Now, which one?
Exactly my point.
Okay.
Because I'm going to get 2 in for my number 1 because Noah Wyle played both of them.
Now, you do know that is John Carter, but they could not get the rights from Michael Crichton's.
Oh, it's real clear.
It's very clear.
It's real clear.
Yes.
So for those who may not know what we're talking about, so Noah Wyle played John Carter on ER back in the late 90s. Did you realize that show was on for 15 years?
Yeah. We watched it the entire time.
I don't know when I stopped, but I was telling my wife, like, did you realize it? She goes, yeah, I watched it the whole time, but I know I didn't.
Yeah.
I think I might have dipped in and out of episodes, but anyway, I was shocked to know that it went on that long. But John Carter on ER, he's on the very first episode. He is a brand new medical student or resident. He is a surgical resident who's never tied a suture, done an IV, none of this kind of stuff, in his tailored lab coat because he was rich,
Yeah.
came from a rich family, and so they're all kind of making fun of, "Well, I've never seen that before." And in his first, he's working with Eric LaSalle. They go in to do his first sutures, and he almost passes out from watching him, like, stitch this woman up.
Yeah.
He goes from that, and really, he's the only one of that original cast that made it most of the way through and in and out a little bit towards the end, but was still kind of constant and was in the final episodes. Goes from doesn't know what he's doing to ER doc to ER attending to getting almost killed by a crazy patient to a Vicodin addiction because of that, or pill addiction at some point. Goes to Africa for a while because he was doing a movie and they needed to do something with him. But just goes from this guy who doesn't really know what he's doing, is kind of doing this thing because mom and dad expect him to someone who is trying to figure out how to do the most good,
Right.
both as a physician and as a very wealthy person. And so the show ends with him opening this clinic next to the hospital for those that can't get the kind of care that they need. And then we have the pit. And yes, I mean, if you watch 30 seconds of The Pit, you realize this is just John Carter, and now he's grown up and he's Jewish somehow.
Yeah.
Right? So he's, Michael Robbie Rabinowitz.
So
But go ahead.
I think that Dr. Carter witnessed a mob hit in Chicago and got into the witness protection program and
And that's how he
moved
became Dr. Robbie.
to Robbie Rabinovich.
I will tell you, so we've watched the first season and a half or so of The Pit. What I love now, we could get into The Pit a lot, but what I love is the way that Robbie really has kind of become the next extension of that, 20 years later of John Carter's career. He is a consummate physician. He's incredibly smart, but he's also incredibly compassionate. I mean, he's working in this hospital where they're dealing with
Teacher.
very much the indigent, homeless people, but also very wealthy people that somehow end up in there for different reasons. But you said it, he's also a fantastic teacher. And I love the teacher in me loves that, loves watching the way that he is helping these young residents, these emerging doctors learn and
Right.
figure out, and the way that he asks them questions. And I'm enough of a nerd. I mean, I could never have been a doctor. It just wasn't the path that I was going to go down. But I love all the right, the jargon and the realism of both of the shows. I think that's another kind of way that The Pit is an extension of what ER started, because the language and they go through a boot camp, the doctors and the nurses, to learn how to talk and move, and even little things like the constant hand sanitizer, that every time you walk in or out of a room, you're washing your hands, and just all of that stuff is so real. And Noah Wiley is the heartbeat of not only that medical center, that ER, but also just of the show.
Mm-hmm.
It revolves around who he is and the way that he engages these people, but also he is not a superhero.
No.
And I appreciate in ER when he has the addiction and the PTSD and all those kind of things, and something similar is going on in The Pit, that Dr. Robbie is having issues with things that have happened to him in the past, things he's had to deal with. And I love the idea that, so many times our TV and movie doctors are seen as these kind of monoliths, and they're stoic and nothing ever really phases them. So to see a doctor that it really does impact, but doesn't impact to the extent that he's non-functional.
Yeah.
And even when he gets to the point where it's hard to function, there are people who can pick him up and bring him along
Right.
by reminding him of what's the point is and what really matters. So I hope you'll allow me the cheat, but there's so much about Noah Wiley that I love that I had to talk about both those doctors.
No, that's fine. I'll allow it.
Yeah, it's too late. It's already happened.
Exactly. I could go out and edit it.
Well.
Better watch it, young man.
Good stuff.
All right.
All right. Well, this is what everybody's been waiting for, Jamie. What's your number one?
Well, for my number one, did I do it?
It's a mess.
Mine is Dr. Quincy. Emmy from
Wow.
1976 to
Yeah.
1983.
Nice.
Yes. We've already talked so much about him, but I did love the fact that um it's that opening every time when he's doing the whole thing, talking to the and they're falling off one by one, fainting. And then another one where he's like slowly investigating something and it pulls back. It's like the hip of a beautiful girl on his boat. There's so many things. I just thought, um, as a kid, I never saw some of the absurdity like you've already brought up.
Right.
Um, but also it was just fascinating because all of his, I mean, not always, but his patients were dead.
Right.
And so there was nobody to interview, there was nobody to ask, he really had to do. And then there were a couple, I know one for sure where there was like a I don't know, a bubonic plague or something going around, and he figured out what it was, and he had to backtrack to go to the first
Yeah.
person. And he was, the police chief, um, really respected him, but also was a huge pain in his butt
Didn't
because
like him. Yeah.
Quincy would go off and do things and just wouldn't even ask. Um, but I loved him. So because you're such a fan, I have, for the final fun fact, is sponsored by Red Dog Terrain. Do you know what Dr. Quincy's first name is?
I actually was looking to see if I could find this,
Mhm.
and I didn't look super hard. So I don't know that he was ever given a first name because there's an initial, right? There's an initial like on his door, and is it an
No,
M?
no. In one episode, Accomplice to Murder, he gives someone a business card and
Right.
it says R. Quincy M.E.
That's it. I knew there was a letter,
Yeah, that was
but
it.
but we don't know what the R stands for.
Nope, they never said.
Maybe the R is just like J, and that's it.
Yeah, it could be. His first name's Rabinowitz.
Oh
Yeah.
man, full
Uh-huh.
circle there.
That's a clack, right? Look at that. Look at that. So anyway, we talked
That's
about it
awesome.
enough, but I am right there. I loved Quincy Emmy.
Yeah.
And I've got them on DVD. It's right up there with the Rockford Files and
Oh yeah.
Kolchak and Columbo. I
But
mean,
once again, we were too young to get a lot of what was going on.
mhm,
But the medicine part of it, the chasing around the bad guy, all that kind of stuff was just so cool that we didn't really pay much attention to what was going on with the girls and some of the other stuff in the background.
yeah.
The
And look,
bar.
neither of us turned into punk rock dudes. So I mean,
No,
we got the
we
message.
we got the haven't used horse and and not a punk rocker. So
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, all right. Well, that's it, folks. That's it. J
That's
Hall,
it.
thank you so much for making this list of your favorite doctors from TV. I
It was
know
absolutely my pleasure.
it was so much work.
This one was fun. Well, they're
Yeah.
all fun, right? But the nostalgia of these and going back and getting lost down the rabbit hole of ER episodes, of Quincy episodes, and just getting to see some of those clips and all the memories of being 10 and watching things I shouldn't be watching.
Yeah.
And it's just great stuff.
Yeah. Well, tell Tracy if she ever wants to do a Fave 5 ER episodes, I'm down.
You mean Kenda, if you're talking about my wife.
Oh, I thought you said who's Tracy?
I have no
Oh, I thought you were
idea.
saying you said Tracy earlier.
Nope.
I honestly, I just thought it was one of your girls. Like,
See, you're going to get me in trouble.
I,
My mom's going to listen to this, Jamie.
well, no, I mean like a daughter. Like I only know
Oh,
one of your daughters. See, why do you go there? I don't go there.
well, I just thought that's
This
where
is
you
a
were headed because
family
we were talking about
show.
Quincy and his. Oh yeah,
No,
talking
I
about
would have said
Quincy and
one of
his
your
girls and
ladies.
settle down.
That's what I would have said.
Oh my gosh.
All right, well, folks, that wraps on another episode of Fave Five From Fans. If you love the episode, share it, rate it 5 stars, and let's get more fans in on the fun.
Come
Can
on.
you do that? Yeah. Don't forget, people, you are the reason that we do this. We love you. We love for you to interact with us. Tell us some of the doctors we might have forgotten, like the doctor from The Simpsons. He was right there on my list. And reach out to us. Find us on Facebook, on X, on Instagram. We're also on YouTube where we do some shorts, and you can find these faces, whether you want to or not.
Such as they are.
And be sure to follow us at Fave Five From Fans on Instagram and X. And don't forget to follow at PM Studios Pod, PM Studio Pod, so that you can stay plugged in to everything that the Plastic Microphone Studios has to offer, which is a lot. New episodes come out every Friday.
I mean, most Fridays.
It's 17 times you've interrupted me. 17.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, like the last time I had anyway.
Yeah, whatever.
They come around most Fridays or around Friday.
Unless they don't. So
they come out all the time.
Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode, unless I forget to post. And remember, folks, it may not be the best. It may not be the most popular, but if it's your favorite, then that's good enough for us. Thanks for joining us. Jay Hall, take us out.
Whatever you do, folks, don't get your medical advice from TV doctors.
Yeah, or us. Yeah.
Or us. Definitely not us.
Definitely not.
And watch out for helicopters.
Good one.
Thank you.